Okay, so welcome back, folks. This is DLils from Pro Football Forensics. Today here with the Swan, the Oracle of the NFL, and we're here talking about the NFC West today. And we're going to give you a brief recap and overview of what our expectations are, both from an odds-making standpoint and from an NFL analytical standpoint. NFC West is expected to be one of the stronger divisions in football, very much just like the AFC North. And actually, odds makers and NFL commentators are predicting that the NFC West will get 4 teams in the playoffs this year. What are your thoughts about that?
4 teams, that's a lot to say is going to make the playoffs. I did my work on it, and I feel strongly that 2 teams definitely can be in there. The problem with trying to get 4 teams is that they got to play each other. And I expect them to beat each other up so bad that 4 teams getting there is going to be difficult. In that division, it is critical. It is critical that 1 or 2 of those teams win 2 games against each other outright. Because if all teams split, then it's going to water down that division and make it more difficult for them to get in.
It could water down the division. So with that being said, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. So let's go from top down. How do you expect the NFC West to shake out this year?
The Cardinals are prepared to do some major things. Then I looked at their roster, I looked at their schedule, and I said they're going to be tough. However, the Rams and the 49ers look very good. And I'm going to talk more about the Rams individually, and I'm going to talk more about 49ers individually. But overall, I've got to believe that those 2 teams are going to stand out more so than the Cardinals at this time.
Okay, so what do they need to do specifically to get to the championship this year?
Let me start with talking about the coaches. I've ranked the coaches in the NFC West. Number 1, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is my type of coach. Players love him. He likes to take chances. Seems to be very creative, and he's a good motivator. And you have to have that in the NFL today. Someone that can motivate these grown men that are getting these large paychecks. So that's important. Kyle Shanahan. People got to watch him. I must say, when he was with the Redskins, him and his dad, I could not stand those 2. And not because of something that they did, it's because they were just smart. And I noticed Kyle was the architect behind a lot of things that were going on. He knows how to put together a coaching staff, which I'll talk more about later. But it's just that players believe in him, and he's about doing business.
Sean McVay
is a very good coach, and he's on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat because of some strategic moves he's made, and because they have been expected to make it to the top for a few years now. But he is a good coach. He does some good things.
Let's stop right there. So you said Sean McVay is on the hot seat. Why do you think Sean McVay is on the hot seat?
They are in a must-win situation. And I'm going to tell you about that later, why they're in a must-win situation.
Okay.
And Cliff Kingsbury, he's the newbie of the group. He's been around. This team is sort of like the Raiders. They built around the quarterback, and they've gone out and picked up some people that are important to their success this year. But overall, I have him coming in as the least of those, but they're all good coaches. That's another reason why I say this NFC West is going to be tough this year.
Let's get it started with the Cardinals from bottom up.
Seahawks at the bottom.
Okay.
And I know that's going to be a surprise to everyone. Seahawks are strong. They have a good quarterback. They have a proven coach. They have good players. They seem to have it all. However, Seahawks were built years ago on their defense. Defense, take away the ball. Defense, stop yardage. Defense, give the ball back to the offense. They have lost a lot of players. Those old those guys that left, they had the mentality of hit, and hurt. I think Bobby Wagner is the only one left out of that group, and Bobby Wagner has done quite well all these years. But Bobby Wagner's getting a little older, and he can't carry this entire team. They're going to hurt because of giving up their strongest cornerback, and the team has to have that runner because I'm not so sure about the offensive line. They have two great receivers, but if they can't get the ball to them, then they have a problem. And their running game is suspect. That's why I say they're my bottom team in that division.
You don't believe in Chris Carson at all as a running back?
I watched them last year, and it seemed to me that without the running of their quarterback, they weren't moving the ball. So everybody is concerned about keeping their quarterback in the backfield.
Okay.
And if that's what their concern is, maybe their team doesn't believe in Carson.
Maybe.
So my next team is the Cardinals. Early part of the summer, I had them as one of my teams.
Super Bowl contender.
Super Bowl.
Right.
That's exactly right. They have gone out and paid for some players to come in, and I do believe their defense is stacked. However,
you're talking about the Cardinals defense?
Yeah, I think they have a stacked defense
Because of that line.
because of that line. But,
Okay.
but they got a free safety. They
Okay.
got a free safety back there, and I do believe they got a pretty decent rookie corner coming in. That with that D line, corners can make their year off that.
Okay.
But here's my problem. Their team is built on their quarterback, and after having this amount of time to study them, how do you keep that quarterback in the pocket? You know that he is one of the top ones for getting yards, running the ball, sort of like the Ravens, and he's got a good arm for throwing. But if I send everything up the middle at him and keep him, can he see over those tall people? And what happens if he gets a nick? Do they have anybody that can carry them? Not after the team has been built around that type of quarterback.
Well, look at the weapons though, right? So they got weapons. I mean, they got 4, 5, 6 weapons all around the offense. I mean, it should be, theoretically speaking, you should be able to plug a quarterback into that offense and still be successful.
Not if you have built your team around that quarterback because of his size and speed and his arm. The next quarterback coming in doesn't have that kind of speed, and that's going to make
But you still have DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green outside.
Who's going to get the ball to them? Who's going to get the ball to them?
I think a mediocre quarterback. When you got those two on the outside, two arguably number 1 wide receivers.
I did say it couldn't happen.
Okay.
But when you're talking about last place in the division, second place, first place, third place, that's why I put the Cardinals there.
Okay.
And remember, they're in a tough division.
Very tough.
Where they normally split games, but this year, 1 or 2 of those teams are going to dominate that division. So my next team that I'm looking at are the 49ers. Man, it was hard for me to make that decision between the Rams and the 49ers. But the 49ers have had a tough training camp already with the loss and the injuries of some key players. And I think that's going to make a decision. A decision on who's going to flourish for them. The quarterback situation. If they had a solid number 1 going through the season, going to the first game and said, this person bearing injuries is going to be our quarterback at the end, I would feel better about it.
So it's not Jimmy for you.
It's not Jimmy?
Garoppolo.
I don't think so. I think as soon as Lance get himself together, he's going to be in there.
The reports out of camp are very promising.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Very promising.
Now that doesn't do well for the psyche of all the players on the team.
Right.
And they're not sure which one is going to be there. But I'm telling you, the coach is smart. Shanahan's a smart coach. I like the chances he takes. I like the way the players believe in him. But on the other side is, he's able to recruit good coaches. And what has happened? I think he lost 3 coaches this year. And they're around the NFL now.
He lost his OC, yep.
Yep, so that hurts. That breaks down that team also. One thing that they did great, they kept Trent Williams. They kept him. And they must keep him healthy. So they're going to play hard. They may play harder than anyone else in that division based on the mentality of the players, based on the coach, and based on who they are. But losing coaches, not sure which quarterback is going to be there.
That's true.
DBs, who they're going to bring in because of who they haven't signed. Question marks. That's why they're not my number 1 pick.
Okay.
Number 1 pick, the Rams. They disappoint me a lot. But the Rams are the Tampa Bay of last year. We spent the money. We played all our cards on Stafford. We are in a must-win situation. We gave up everything.
Right.
We gave up our future. We gave it all up. But Stafford is a top-notch quarterback. The only weakness I see right now, they lost my running back. I was really high on King. And who they pick up is going to make a difference. They're going to need some strong, powerful legs at running back. They're good receivers.
Yeah, above average, I would say, yeah.
Well, I think they're good receivers. They have good hands, and they can stretch the field also. And I'm telling you,
can Deshaun stretch the field?
I see you trying to jump out there.
Stretch the field,
I was going to talk about Deshaun.
30, 35, 36.
Well,
come on, man.
Deshaun is not asked to do everything.
Okay.
We asked him to fill a void that they had in there. With the 2 receivers they have, and Deshaun coming in, and if his injuries are bypassed, they are right there ready to go. I like that team. Running backs here again is critical, but on the other side of the ball, smash mouth. They're going to beat up some people. That defense is Ramsey. I mean, he's going to shut them down. They have some people coming in. They're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. So I like them. The coach, just get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Don't make mistakes.
Don't try to overthink things. Let's play football. So that's the way.
Sounds like a lot of low-scoring games you're anticipating from the Rams this year. A lot of ball control, a lot of defense on the field, because that's their stronger unit, right? So you want your defense to be on the field longer than your offense.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they can't strike quick.
I don't know if they have those guys. I don't know if they have the personnel for the Rams.
Well.
We will see. Week 1, they're playing, I believe, Chicago Bears in a matchup of 2 of the NFL's best premier defensive players, Khalil Mack, and of course Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is 3-1 all the time against Khalil Mack head-to-head. That's straight from the Trenton Analysis tab on the Pro Football Forensics app. So let's get into it. Our last section of the show, we like to take a look at all of the season awards, right? And so if all of the season awards could be given to only teams within a particular division, in this case the NFC West, let's review that. So let's start out with Offensive Player of the Year from the NFC West. That person is going to be who?
Stafford. Stafford.
Surprise.
Stafford has always been a good quarterback. But he was in that weak division where they do nothing but beat people up.
Okay.
And I think he's going to be that type of player that Tampa Bay needed last year.
Okay.
Strong arm. Don't ask him to do a whole lot of running. I don't want him to do that.
Right.
But when I put somebody out there and I ask him to drop it over into their hands, Stafford's going to do it. So he's going to be the NFL, NFC Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year, if it could only come out of the NFC West, who would it be?
Which team did I tell you was going to win that division?
The Rams.
They're going to have 4 players. Aaron Aaron Donald. The man can pick up a house. He can move cars and trucks. With the addition of a couple of more players, turn them loose. Nose tackle, they've got some young people coming in there. They must do it. So everybody's going to try to stop him this year, but they're going to find out there's some other people on that team that can come through that line. He's still going to move mountains. And he knows that, he's getting a little long in tooth too.
Is he? Because we can't really tell from a statistical standpoint. Aaron Donald was a defensive rookie of the year, and then he's made all defensive team every single year that he's been in the league.
Well, when you play in the Super Bowl, that tells you everything.
He's only played one time.
He's playing it this year. He's playing it this year.
Check out those odds on the Rams to win the Super Bowl, those preseason odds. I believe they're around plus 900 right now. Take a look at that, folks. He just said Rams Super Bowl coming straight at you. Okay, let's get to some of our rookie players, right? So, each year the NFL gives out an offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. If we're going to contain it to the NFC West, who's your offensive rookie of the year?
Trey Lance.
Oh, so you're expecting him to play sooner rather than later?
Yep. I'm expecting him to play right around the fourth game.
And he'll do enough over weeks 4 to 17 to...
Yes. Because I feel that the 49ers are going to get healthy.
Okay.
The coaches are going to come around that they missed from last year. And it's going to come neck and neck right down to the line to the end of the season. As I said, I have them tossed up which team is going to win. But I think very easily they could be in the NFC Championship game. That's why I like them.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the other side of the ball, what rookie defensive player is going to make the biggest impact in the NFC West?
But I believe it's going to be a cornerback from one of those teams. I just don't know which one.
Okay. So you did have a guy coming out of Florida this year that was drafted in the 4th round, pick number 31 from Arizona. It was Marco Wilson, 6-foot cornerback from University of Florida.
I like Florida cornerbacks.
Joe Hayden.
Yeah,
you got some good ones.
They play top of the line teams, but I'm just not sure. I know it's going to be a cornerback. I know it's going to be a cornerback because you also got to look at Seattle. Seattle got to fill some spots. Right. You got to look at 49ers. They have to fill a spot.
Well, they're in talks to bring Brett back, and some other people.
Well, until they do it, I think you're going to have some young corners around the league this year. So it's very difficult for me to say that. Let's
talk about Coach of the Year coming out of the NFC West. I mean, we have arguably every team has a solid coach. Cliff Kingsbury, the verdict's still out on him, but who you have is the best coach in this division this year?
Kyle Shanahan. And the reason
after you just talked up,
I know that.
Okay.
But Shanahan has lost coaches, and they typically say, who's really doing the coaching? Head coach or the other coaches? When he's bringing in people, putting that together, putting his stamp on them, I got to give him the edge over everyone else. If he gets his players playing the way I know that they can play, it'll be him. And I know that he's going to make the right calls down the line. The only thing is going to be the early part of the season, where he is going to be the coach. Be careful. He could be the coach of the year of the whole
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. Watch him.
Okay. So with all that being said, then I'm assuming your MVP would also be Matt Stafford.
Yes.
Potentially MVP of the league. Potentially Matt Stafford. Take a look at those odds, folks. Matt Stafford to win the MVP. And again, this is courtesy of VegasInsider.com. You're going to get great odds because he's not even in the top 10.
I should have waited until I put my
folks,
head in.
You might want to go ahead and see if you can grab Stafford now because he's not even in the top 10. Right now, you can get plus 1,800 on Matt Stafford right now. Plus 1,800. Okay, coming in right after Russell Wilson. Be on the lookout. This is Swan's Corner. Deuces Wild. Only here at Pro Football Forensics. Download the app right now. Pro Football Forensics available in the iOS and Google Play Store. It's DLils signing out.